Uh, yes. Hello again. Um, just wanted to some thoughts down. It's around 2 a.m. Time I'm normally awake, but I just kind of wanted to lay down why it is I'm super interested in what it is I do. I mean, what it is that I do could be seen as controversial in a lot of different ways. Then again, it's just like I don't care at a certain point if I'm not being seen as a person. So, uh, I mean, I take for granted I'd probably walked away from a lot of different shit. I really do, because the fact is, I was looking for people to want to try to even, um, well, the thing is, I play bait. See, bait. Like for catching a bigger predator for a long time. But it was in a very specific way. See, like when I was a kid, I could say, I was probably a lot crazier then than I think to be now. I mean, that's if, but I did a lot of different shit to try to get exactly what it is that I was looking for, especially when I was a minor. See, like when I was a minor, some weird shit happened to me. Um, it was some very strange shit. I wasn't expecting shit like that to still be around. If anything, you know, uh, not just be around, but at that point, it just became like this understanding that somehow shit like that was just supposed to exist, and you were supposed to already know how to deal with it or something. But it wasn't like that. Uh, Sad reality was I didn't really realize that there was such big fucking conflict between native people and fucking white people. Like I didn't realize that like at all. Being native too, I had no idea. Uh, because I was being taught a lot of different things, like uh, yeah, just mainly caring about people, but uh, this is where I get back on subject. That is, it kind of reminds me of what I did recently uh, with my recent action. Uh, I have a few videos on it now, but I put myself in a position of criminality in order to find these people, enabling the term American Indian in a way that was inhumane in its practice. So that's how I know what it is I'm talking about. See, at a certain point, you know, they don't care, and then, anyone who's ever known me knows that that's the one thing I even talk about mainly. Uh, that's my like point of direction or what it is that I know to even refer to. So, I mean, I did a lot of that shit as a kid. Like fucking, oh god, I did. It's just I was a minor then. I could get away with more, at that point in time, and I did. The thing is, see, here's the thing. Don't mind me. I'm smoking cannabis, by the way. To kind of deal with this, it's actually painful. Up here, that is. Uh, it was more than I had expected. Because at the time, was it yeah, I did something so specific in its nature towards what it is. I think those sick freaks to really be out there, like specific. I can't even talk right now. Specifically, uh, fucking, it was a means of like, was it like uh, larceny? Uh, that fucking I had brought the attention of multiple officers at that one time, and fucking they literally tried to come to my house and shit while no one was fucking around and shit, and then they would try to do shit like outside of the law because they knew, somehow they knew where it is my family was and shit, to ask me certain questions about things like artifacts and shit that we may know about. So that's how I've been fucking seeing a whole different fucking perspective on this shit altogether. And that shit is out there. Uh, if they know, if they think they have control over you in a specific way, they will take advantage of you. That's why I fucking had to stop, because it was becoming too real. And then people were concerned with my safety at the time, being that I was a minor too. And but it's everything I needed to fucking see. I wasn't expecting it. A lot of times with everything I, come at pretty hard like this, I don't expect things to be exactly the way I say. Because when they are, it's kind of gross. At least to me, it's not that I feel like, I don't know, like I have an ego or something. It's just mainly like, I don't want to be right at that point. Like, I really don't want to think you people are just walking away from the responsibilities of your actions at a certain point, being American, even from the things that were perpetuated against indigenous people by those people in their actions, even. But literally, as of right now, there's no difference in, like, with that. There really is no difference in that right now. Especially if you're gonna fucking be here and say you can be all you can be. So it's a sad fucking reality. Like I said, that's when I was a minor. Here I am now. Uh, the point of criminality I did the other day is I took mushrooms with the stereotypical Indian headdress on at the state capitol. I took them there at the state capitol with my fucking Cowboys and Indians playset, and I fucking put it right there on their step, and I was just yelling at people to help me, help us as people, help us get out of this, just to see who would show up. Because then, to me, I figured, well, they don't know about mushrooms yet. They really don't know about mushrooms or anything else because they want you to be on, injections and shit. Which is why I'm also starting a lawsuit now. Should be fun. But uh, it just comes down to fucking the fact that they're under the influence of drugs themselves, because they don't know why they use the word Indian. So now I can even request the report that was made on me by these officers who double talked me and did a lot of weird shit with me, even there at the state capitol. Uh, for being, I could use that report to prove that they're all incompetent for using that word. They're gonna try every excuse, everything in the book you can possibly think of, but I'm just tired of this shit. It's so fucking asinine. Like, for real. Like, you try to ask them about something like specific, like, hey man, why do you even try even fucking? Like, they can't tell you. They can't even tell you what the fuck, why it is that they're even there. Or how it is that they're even there. They can't tell you that. They just know that they gotta be there and they gotta do those things that they know is good for people, this and that. But I'm not falling for that bullshit. Like, they want you thinking that people are there for those specific reasons that they would want people to be there for when they were not even there in that way. Being the word Indian, that proves they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. So you know, that's why I always run into officers really fucked up and they try to get something out of me, out of the situation, because they know once they put their name on their report, that's all I need. I need an idiot to play the part that they say isn't there. So, like I said, I've been at this for years since I was a minor, and in my personal research, I found that these people are very, they all don't think alike, like they all don't think alike in this kind of like situation, and if they think it's one way or another, there are plenty of people I've met personally who have even stuck up for my situations who don't agree with like one way of looking at it. Like a lot of times, a lot of the cops that find me, they want to like fucking put their hands on me and think they can like do shit to me, regardless of what point they think I am at in criminality with them. Sometimes I'll intentionally leave shit out just so people can catch feelings on it, just because they shouldn't. And that's the funnest shit right there. But for me, that shit works. I get a lot of different things out of it. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. If these kinds of people who are oppressing indigenous people, and you won't believe how many people are oppressing indigenous people, people of a tribe that's considered to be American Indian with here within the states. Uh, they're exploiting everything: people, their own people, resources, the land, wildlife, fucking politics, fucking you know, just a lot of shit that should matter. If you feel like these are the same people, because they also do things like human trafficking and fucking killing people who know of a culture, to try to uh, destroy information that goes against what they choose to believe. If you feel like those kinds of people, that specific mindset is targeting you, uh, don't be afraid to speak out. Um, the most they could try to do is threaten your life. Uh, that's just the first thing they do. Try to scare you, and try to keep you from doing, showing that they fuck little kids in the dark when no one's looking. You know, fucking don't even fall for it. Fucking put it out there. And then if you need extra help, do what it is I had to do at one point in time. I couldn't even rely on the law. I had to outsource and find people who are willing to do those things. Okay? Because they are right, but that mainly because it needs to be done and you'll have the money to pay them to do it. Because a cop would say that. They'd say, "You don't pay my salary," but fucking it's all taxes. The thing is, they only understand things to a certain point anyway, to a certain degree. So if you're caught on one cop, don't even bother. Fucking just go right in there, fucking rip them away from all that shit, watch you fucking scramble, and fucking have your way with it. Cause fucking, if you don't take advantage of the fact that fucking half these fuckers don't know what the fuck they're talking about, then you're gonna end up as a statistic, as someone who appears as though they have no ability or no means of speaking for themselves. And that's another reason why I'm making this video right now, is because I would kind of want to educate you people a little bit more about how these people think, being that I've seen it from multiple sides. Uh, so, one example I think I would like to demonstrate for you people is the fact that, you know, these people operate on the same level of degree when it comes to indigenous rights, how they exploit it, that is. Like a hitman would infiltrating a group of people to try to find the person they're trying to kill. That's literally how they fucking think about these things. They don't tell you. They'll go to you like, "Hey man, that was such a cool thing you said. Could we talk out back real quick? I got a blunt or I got a joint or you do you smoke, you do, and then they might come off as a good personality, but once they have you alone, that's it. That's all it's gonna take because they know that you know too much, regardless if you're indigenous or not. By the way, because for me, the concept of being indigenous is really just like knowing that we're all indigenous, but uh, some people they think they're from way out there and shit up in the sky, kingdom or whatever, and that's okay too. But for me, I feel like we depend on shit that belongs here. So, uh, not discrediting them, just saying. But that's one perspective on how they are about indigenous rights. They won't tell you at all what it is that they'd be there doing, and they try to cover up their losses immediately. As in, if you know too much or someone that you know around knows too much about these kinds of things, they will find you when you are alone and they will do whatever it is that they want to do, whether it be blackmailing, fucking uh, torturing, uh, they try to make you forget about shit. Uh, Lots of different things. I mean, from what I remember in my situation last time, is fucking somehow the military got involved and they were trying to tell me because they have detectives or whatever that they couldn't rely on the information that they were receiving anymore because it was a controversial thing being like outputted by people in such a way and they knew it wasn't right. Because the thing is, I guess at the time they wanted to help me or whatever. They wanted to convince me they were big chiefs, this and that. But for me, uh, I didn't know how to take them. I was just laughing, honestly, on the inside, because they tried to tell me they even understood that in order to help me, and uh, just yeah, became this really weird thing. At a certain point, I couldn't even trust fucking law. Uh, but uh, I'd say another perspective to have about these kinds of individuals is a lot of them will be they're on the notion that their beliefs are being contradicted by indigenous peoples existing over here on this side of the planet without their approval or without their dumb shit like that. So they it becomes fucking covering up their losses again in each and every way. But I think a perspective to have is not every fucker trying to cover up indigenous identity as of right now is doing it under the notion of their beliefs being contradicted. It's more like some of them just want no identity on the land so they can come in and purchase it when people think it's normal. When people think that we're equal even, or that we're seen as at a point where uh, well, at a point where somehow there's like this mutual understanding of respect when there really isn't. um that's why, if anything, these fuckers who came up with Donald Trump don't surprise me saying fake news all the time, because it seems like they're trying to implant that kind of notion into the mind of the general public that there is more fake news than ever. It's like they're fucking people intentionally bought fake news, okay? Like I used to buy those fucking dumbass tabloids and shit. So, just to see how dumb they were, just to know someone's fucking finding Atlantis in someone's ear or some shit. That shit's funny to me. So I mean, sure, it could be seen as questionable, but obviously there's some entertainment value in those kinds of things, but not when it's supposed to be taken seriously, of course. Oh, then another thing is, even though another perspective I should say is, even though these white people, quote unquote, because they call themselves white, um, are They think they own everything over here. A lot of them sold out to a lot of different places, and a lot of them are just living out a notion that they still think they are in control of everything, when in reality they're bringing a debt upon what they consider to be their nation. So I mean, the illusion of control is amazing at that point, because then you can obviously convince yourself of anything. But uh, that's another perspective, of how their desperation can manifest in a different way. Uh, let's see, what was the other one? Oh, fucking because definitely they, that, yeah, I did mention that they will try to kill you if you know too much. Um, more than anything, there's like a lot of shit that I'm getting into now that just blows my mind about how it is that they treat people when they think they have full control over them. It's great. That's why I had to really find out this stuff for myself. Not a lot of people are really made to do these kinds of things. Yeah, I mean, personally speaking, fucking, I barely got out of that shit alive last time, and it took a lot of people in a lot of high places because I was a minor, and they were still coming at me really fucking hard. Like they didn't give a fucking shit. Excuse my language. They didn't care like at all. They even told me at a young age that they would come back for me because they didn't like me living too long, as if they had any input or any say so in that. Like, I mean, that's the shit I gotta personally deal with. Like fucking. Because nowadays there's all kinds of different technology compared to how it was when I was a minor that they could use back then. Because now they got more like unmanned drones and shit that could like manipulate and fuck with shit. And I already know where that kind of mentality is coming from, because they do the same things that they did in Iraq, from what I hear. They they fuck with someone uh within what they consider enemy lines. Except if they're doing this on people here in the states, I don't know how that could still considered very similar for them to do it, unless they're just crooks, like I think they are. But they mess with them and keep them awake and fucking do shit to them while they're asleep and shit. So they go crazy and kill everyone from the inside out. Uh, those are mentalities that are still very real, but are being implemented against civilians, or quote unquote civilians. 'Cause I don't even fucking know if we're actually people to them right now. But um, I mean that's another thing I personally seen, is that whatever it is I'm dealing with now, they flicker lights and do really weird shit, um, to try to get in your head, and make you believe shit. Like, because for a while I would speak out loud purposely, and I would say shit in a specific way, and then that's when I started seeing that there were lights flickering, and that whether it be a video or something you're watching, like not even on a laptop, it fucking just stops working and shit. So it became really fucking weird. At that point, I'm like, well, these people obviously, they're trying to have it out for me, and there's no means I can have right now to even like confirm their identity by doing it, which means that fucking the only means I have at ever finding them is knowing how it is that they do these things, even to others. Just funny as shit, but I mean that's the type of shit I have to live through. I mean you may, whoever watches this, they may think that this shit is easy, but really, like, I was always a very sensitive person. I couldn't even watch scary movies. I couldn't even see blood. I couldn't do any of that shit. people that like my relatives growing up, they knew that about me. I couldn't even be in the dark. I was scared of the fucking dark. Yeah, I was scared of. Well, then I was always being bullied too. At the same time, like I was always actually a very sensitive person, and this stuff is not an easy thing to deal with. Um, that's why it really taxes me up here because like I take it more seriously in a lot of different ways. But these days now, I don't care because I know I got to do something before something's done to me. So that's how my struggle will always be undermined. I mean, there's been several times where fucking I've been getting YouTube comments on my videos where it's someone posting like fucking dickgirl.com or fucking hotteens.com on my fucking YouTube channel, and they all have like generic ass fucking names. And it's mainly like shit like trying to call 911 for a legitimate emergency and shit. They're like on those kinds of videos right now. Man, you should see my email. I should do a video about my email because there have been fuckers targeting me for like past 4 years using the same email addresses as fucking different people, obviously, and they want you to go to a fucking page or whatever, download this and that. It's like you don't do it though. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, that's just shit I'm obviously fucking aware of that is out there. Because, for me, like, even the thing about the whole, like, drone shit to me personally, it's a bit out there. It's a bit reaching out to something. But each and every time there'd be lights flickering because I'll be saying shit out loud intentionally to see what reactions I'm provoking. I go outside and there's a fucking drone above my house. And like I don't have a gun or anything to shoot it down. If I could though, I'd take it and fucking, tear it apart and get the footage out of it, but it's already probably streaming and shit. But at that point, you shoot it down, fucking get it, archive it, hide it from people. Because if they're doing that shit to you, they're gonna act like they didn't do it. Because especially if you're speaking out against their means of getting resources, so they can supposedly help people and do all those things they supposedly do when we're still all fucking Indians and shit to them, it's bullshit. Becomes the ideas of fucking institutional bias, knowing that there's always someone fucking being taken from for their shit to be okay. To even have something like an institution that furthers their opinion towards whatever it is that they choose to feel in that way. I mean, those are literally the ideas I feel that are fueling a lot of this right now. Because I'm just barely remembering a lot of this shit from my youth. Um, at one point in time, I was raped. They wanted well, and then after that, they wanted to kill me, and I think that's where some cops came in. Because then all I remember is those cops were really nice people. They told me that they wanted me to have a childhood. So, I appreciated that because, no one was even looking at me like a human being. So, uh, it just, for me, like, if I could think of anything else, oh, yeah, that's right. And these fuckers, they have a reactionary, based fucking conditioning against what it is that they choose to perceive as an enemy. So, like, you could be a dude or someone totally fucking unaware that they're even there. Really, you could be someone who don't even know that they're really even there, and they'll fucking spy on you from a distance, and they will fucking use that they will intentionally mislead people about where it is that you are as an individual And guess what? They're not just someone on the side of the road at that point anymore either. Because fucking they'll even be working for the law. Doesn't mean they're right though. Just like these fuckers down here at the state capitol, they're just incompetent. They didn't know how to fucking help me. I needed help. Uh, I just oh yeah, no, because then they start intentionally misleading fucking laughter. So like if you're laughing about like haha, look at this guy, fucking he learned from his mistake, it was a funny thing or something, and we all had a laugh or something, and that's what the whole story was about, right? And you'll be like haha, because they're emotionless as fuck and they harm people. They fucking they intentionally mislead people on what it is that you even choose to laugh about, being that they can't actually feel those emotions. Like a lot of these fuckers I read into, they can't actually feel like being happy about like things that aren't fucked up towards other people. So like they'll be like, "Oh, he's just laughing," or fucking they'll be at a distance and shit. And then when you're talking and shit, like even now, like I'm surprised right now. Fucking they'll say shit from a distance, like, "Oh, what the fuck are you trying to say to me and shit?" They'll try to act like just because you're laughing and shit at something innocent, like fucking like a Disney movie or something. They'll be like, "Fuck you, motherfucker! What the fuck you say?" As if you fucking know they're there and shit. So these are the fuckers I'm looking for right now. I mean, if anything, if I got them this close, chances are it might not end up well for them if they're the same people I ran into before. But they wouldn't tell me that if anything. But I just know that there were people looking out for me when I was a minor who probably would see this shit now, and they wouldn't agree with it because they know what it is I'm actually talking about. Then again, I was actually looked out by people who are the worst of the worst too, because I couldn't depend on the law either. As in, as of right now, you're looking at someone who's almost seen like fucking World War III happen here. They were trying to come in and secure resources. They were trying to make it seem like their ancestors weren't even fucked up people. They were trying to make it seem like a lot of different dumb shit. Just shameless. Shameless too. They fucking that's why a lot of this shit I'm seeing nowadays doesn't fucking surprise me. Like all the vandalism and ruins and shit. That's why you can't even tell people what ruins are anymore. Because they're gonna go over there and fucking vandalize it, whether they be white people or someone else who feels that kind of way towards indigenous culture, even just existing there. And for the most part, I only have a certain amount of fucking like I only have so many gateways, so many fucking small little things to try to crawl through in order to survive when I'm dealing with this shit. Because there's really no difference between someone just literally coming up to me and like fucking shooting me because I know too much. Fact is, I did a lot to make sure that they couldn't do their inbred fucking suicide cult bullshit. Really, I did. And they don't like it. Like they really don't like it. It's funny as shit. Because they, as of right now, I don't know if there's any kind of technology like as small as a fly or small as fucking anything that could just be on your muscle and like fucking try to know your reaction time and shit in order to fucking do shit against what it is you would consciously think. Because as of right now, if they're flickering lights, it's the same concept. Uh, which is another reason why I have to make this video because I've seen shit like this and it's been used against me. But the thing is, I feel like people who aren't prepared or really know what it is they're really about these days, who are getting out there and experience this shit, I don't think they have the willpower to really come out of it unscathed or at a point where they haven't changed in such a weird fucking way to try to defend themselves. So at this point in this video too, I mean, like I probably keep going on and on, but you know, these are the things I personally have seen being a problem when addressing this very issue, especially for someone who's seen things uh, from multiple angles. Because for me, you know, I wouldn't lie to you people if I told you I didn't get some kind of sick pleasure from knowing that I could at any point die defending what it is that I love, this place, and like my ability to feel even. Sorry, this cat's become a rapist. I feel sorry for him, but I gotta lock him up. Uh, I just at a certain point, I feel content with that. I feel content with dying knowing that I fucked over these people that tried to come in and act like no one was even here. I mean, it makes me happy with that small little ego I may have inside me, knowing that I fucked it over for them. And I made sure all that shit they try to get away with is now something they gotta pass through in a very shameless fucking way. That's the only way it will get passed through at this point. And as you can tell, fucking when it comes to indigenous rights, no one really gives a fuck. Really, uh, all the way up until Standing Rock, like fucking even half the fuckers that went to Standing Rock, I'm sure haven't even fucking even cared about, the indigenous suffering part about anything. This is like the first time they ever fucking woke up, at least from what I hear. And that's a good thing because this is just like consciousness and being aware. But you know, like when I was there, even fucking there are too many people trying to fuck each other while we were even there and shit. So, um, what else can I fucking bring up to the surface about these fuckers? Oh yeah, they do perverse things with music, uh, and the arts because they want to intentionally criminalize the arts because they don't like how someone could be write them off as just being a certain way because they would literally only be that certain way. They like that, like in their own dumb fucked up way. It's pretty funny. So then they try to intentionally rewrite lyrics or rewrite or make art that's only in spite of someone because they figure that's how shit is. But in reality, the people who even made those lyrics wouldn't have even told them that it would have even been about them if they weren't already like on their shit list for doing things even against people, innocent people. So that's how they're like, well, I'm gonna make a song now, and it's about fucking not giving a shit and telling you you're wrong, and I got money and I'm rich, and all these ideas I can even wrap around that. No, it's just about you're wrong and shit the fuck down kind of mentality all the fucking time. Then the next album we're gonna produce, right? We're gonna fucking do another one. I just at that point I studied music to know that music can mean a lot of different things. Like really, people really don't know how to be with it even. But for me, like I understand it as like a concept of healing, like for oneself. Because like in order to even sing too, you gotta know like what it is that you like, how it is that you like to hear things, and then how it is other people like to hear things. Because then you gotta like incorporate it if you want to be an entertainer. Um, but yeah, these fuckers just try to weaponize everything. That's their main goal. One of their main objectives. and knowing how it is that they treat the arts, because they may even seem like they genuinely care until you're there looking at it. Like once you're there looking at it, they don't care. They'll just tell you straight up right then and there. That's how it always was. But all the way up until that point, they act like it ain't even there. So that's one thing I've seen about these fuckers when it comes to music and the arts. Um, what else is it? Oh, and the other day I fucking I oh yeah, no, I posted something on Facebook, and I still follow what it is that I post, even though I got banned for like a whole week. I don't know, what person wanted to report that post, because then they reported it for hate speech. But I'm going through a whole case for it now, and I said, what was it? I said, oh, because this is the same mentalities that, because it's multiple mentalities. They're even trying to click all together to try to get rid of indigenous culture and identity. So I put, yes, I'd fight your inbred ass. I'm tired of your toilet humor. And that's supposed to apply to who that applies to. And then I said, and I'd fight an Indian that thinks this is normal. An actual Indian, if anything. Because what is Indian at that point? And then I said, and a black guy who says we're only all African, as if our culture and opinion, our history didn't even matter. And then this is the part I think that probably got me reported or whatever. I said, and I'd fight any woman who wants to pull a woman card on me to try to say that my oppression no longer matters, even at when it comes to how it is I'm oppressed, even as people. And I got banned for that, which is pretty funny. But literally, that's like a lot of the perspectives that are coming at us pretty fucking hard. Besides the whole Siberian concept that they try to fucking put over everything else. They're just convenient ass fucking excuses. They're just super convenient excuses. So they just, I mean, that's just how fucking these fuckers would have thought for a while, even being away from their separate cultures and everything. It's just once they know they're getting something, it's not about who they are as people or anything, by the way. It's about what they're getting at that point in time. And that's where fucking you fuckers really don't know unless you're actually concerned with it, being that you got to have like a CIB to even know what it's like with a CIB. It's not like a good thing or anything, because at the time, they're even told it's like a form of identification, right? That's not right. It's actually not, because you're still being recognized by how much of fucking whatever it is you are to the federal government. And the legalities behind that understanding are still being understood to this day as actually being wrong, because there are a bunch of people who take guilty pleasures in knowing that they take things from indigenous people and they exploit people, because a lot of them are really fucked up, greedy people. And then even too, there are cultural influences around at any point that tell them to, go ahead and do these things. Just because if they can get away with it, then no one cares or some bullshit. So there's plenty of that shit going on. And that's another perspective. If you're gonna try to do anything, because I could be just putting this shit out there, and people wouldn't even be ready for it. I mean, you know how many times I try to reach out to people, like, hey, you know, if you really want to do something, this is how you do it, and they didn't fucking do that. Then they had to go find out in the worst fucking ways. It's like I wouldn't even be trying to tell them what to do. It's like they would get in my face, and I'd be like, well, if you really care, then here you go. This is where you go, and this is how you do it. We better go get it. They can't do it. So, let's see another perspective. Oh, same fuckers. I know this is gonna be very controversial, but it's actually a really grim reality. They perpetuate the fact that they have means like medical institutions, fucking uh, things like that. Utilize a lot of different resources that are for legitimate causes, even that aren't there for the best of intentions. They emphasize one look of it without you realizing that there's a whole different understanding behind it. So it's like pushing drugs on someone. You're telling them they're gonna have a good time, and then they take the drugs and they're addicted, and now they can't get enough of it. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is it creates that dependency on that notion that they can get that at that point in time. Uh, that's another perspective because right now with the Corona stuff going on, uh, it's more evident than it ever was. Being that they have to depend on more of these resources just to even do things like sanitize, I keep shit okay for people. So another thing I will add is, God, it's like 46 minutes in. Another thing I will add, you know, I feel because I can always meet people everywhere I go with this information. It's just I know how to catch these criminals like outside of this information as well. And I won't disclose that information any further because I wouldn't want people to harm themselves. I just want them to be prepared for the really dumb shit that comes after that kind of shit, you know? Because for me, like I said, I get a sick pleasure from it personally. Like, well, at one point in time, I was suicidal. I will say. The thing is, I'm not afraid to admit it because I don't feel that way anymore. Um, I, at a certain point, I was like, well, if I die doing this stuff, it's better than killing myself because then, I'm afraid to do it. So, um, let's see. There's like a lot of perspectives I was actually getting into. um, oh yeah, these fuckers that came at me personally. Like I'll leave a lot of these as memoirs to myself. And this is a memoir, just in case I get old one day and fucking lose my head or my memories. I can always look at this and just laugh at it. But one thing I always remember about these fuckers that was really funny is the fact that they couldn't sing, and they acted like they knew everything about singing, but they couldn't even sound like attractive or nothing. Like they didn't know how to sing in those kinds of ways. I mean, it's funny as shit. Then they try to tell you just because they released an album with heavily auto tuned and shit, and people caught on to it that that's raw talent, that they have vocal talent, that they actually know how to articulate that in their fucking with their performance, and yet when you see them live, they got to depend on a fucking machine to be able to even sing the notes on key and everything. Just remember, Daniel, at that point, they don't know what they're talking about because they tried to tell you that you sang like a girl, but the thing is, you don't know what that means. So, because you'll get old one day. unfortunately. Let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, no, definitely. They're about figuring out where how it is that you get your strengths, and then fucking doing the whole divide and conquer method. At least a lot of these fuckers, they want you to be separated from what it is that gives you strength, as if your involvement with it, uh, it's just something out of like desperation. It's funny as shit. It's the same thing that happened to me at the state capitol. I had a sign there that said the term coined American Indian can get you killed for knowing it's wrong, describing separate nations. You know what the cops did there? They tried to separate me from that sign. It was very weird. I'd say very, very fucking weird. But um, that's why I'm getting the camera footage, and I'm probably gonna post it out here just because I'm having a great time with it. Uh, uh, they try to separate you from it. They're like, okay, we're gonna. It's not about this anymore. It's about you. It's about you right here, right now, right? They have that mentality. Really, a lot of them do. Um, but then I told them straight up, even if you were to arrest me for anything, if I were to be any kind of way, guess what? I'm still an American Indian. You people, you don't have any say so of being self determining and shit. So what does that mean for you people? That means you don't understand where the fuck you are and what it is you really on about. Even as of right now, they didn't like that. So then that's when they were trying to make me do their psyche val. Then I told them after that, fuck it, I took mushrooms just to see how it is that they would treat me. It's funny as shit. Cause then I had to lift up my left arm, and the fucker's like, "Okay, lift up your right arm," as he was holding up my fucking left arm, and I'm like, "These fuckers, they're trying to get me. Like they're trying to get me in a place to give away something." And I'm just like, "Go ahead and arrest me, fucker. That's why I'm here. You know, I'm here to get a report that says you involuntarily identify me as an American Indian, and that you know nothing of what it is that you're talking about as of right now. And what you're doing to me as of right now could be seen as questionable with your motives. Because I won't care to fucking take their job away. Sure, we probably need them too, but hey, if they're incompetent as fuck, imagine what a fucking indigenous woman would have to go through being alone with fuckers like that. I ain't gonna fucking take that. So I just, you know, like I don't know what people expect from me doing these kinds of things. Like a lot of times, the fuckers that are trying to dog you down and shit, they always remind you that you're somehow unattractive, or you don't fit a bill, or you don't fit certain likeness or whatever, and it's just like I just stopped caring after a while. Um, because like they want you to get caught on dumb shit. So, but fucking you know, that's the only place to reach out to you. Uh, one thing I think I remember about these fuckers was specifically speaking, uh, oh, they see what is it? Oh yeah, no, actually I couldn't even tell you that one because that would probably get you hurt. It got me hurt, but that's only because I'm fucking trying to do something about it. uh, if anything, there's a lot of good starters here. Uh, and for me, going live about these things is the only way I can really convey these ideas immediately to people who want to learn them, to want to survive even. Like I don't even care if it's the people that harm me or hurt me who want to learn from this. It's just the thing is, I always remind them, regardless of who they are, whether they be family, whether they be someone I personally trusted myself with at one point in time. I'll just remind them, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can take this on for yourself, whatever. But the fact is, if I don't see you there, then you're full of shit. So it's either you stay out of my way, or I go there and I fucking rip you away from it. And I tell them that very often, actually. I mean, I even told uh, my own family member, but one of my bros, that hey, if you live off of what it is that they think is normal up there on the res, then I'll have to come for even you and prove that you fucking use these things, thinking that they're normal even. So I have their reputation with people. I don't mind telling them straight up. So on that note, I'd leave that for all of you as well. Um, I won't be fearful. I'll just see whether or not you're there. And that's why I'm kind of here still. Because I want to see this. I want to see this happen. You know, it ain't going to be a dumb fucker like any of you. It's going to stop me either. There have been plenty of people who tried. Actual criminals, uh, thugs, thieves, killers. They tried. But I'm still here. Even when they said I was supposed to be gone by now. So, and getting all my memories back now, it's just, in my mind, I feel, is my body and my own person, right? This person here, saving me from that shit. As in, my brain must have turned off for a long time to avoid any pain. And remembering it now, it's just giving me a completely, not only a completely different outlook on things, but it's given me enough to even find where it is the people that fucked with me when I was younger are. And that's what I want. It's not even about them. I mean, the way I look at it, even with the hate that took my father, a lot of that would have been fucking inspired. Uh, the individuals in question, like, who were they even around? What did they even learn from? That's what I see. Being the factor that no one really tends to see over a lot of different things. And for me, it's the law. It's the law as of right now. To think of things like this. Really, to literally think of things as if we understand something from an outside perspective without actually being there. Uh, and it's the law because it's American Indians. That's why I say Indians all the fucking time. It's just like, oh no, fuck, I know who you fuckers are. Indians. That's where you've always been. Look. They just think at that point, even the Americans, they think they fucking understand shit now. To think that they're too good for Indians, even. But not only has my work for my nonprofit proven that, you know, there are some hidden shit behind that term and its usage, uh, being that fucking English isn't even our, you know, primary language as indigenous cultures here of what is now considered to be the Americas. Uh, it's just there's a lot of shit like that uh, happening right now, and like even now, just thinking about it, like I don't know how much more I could really take. I really don't. But for you people, maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll survive. And then you can look at shit like this, like what I have on my channel, and just laugh at, you know, whenever it's all said and done. But for me, until I really see this shit happen, I'm not gonna take any of their fucking opinions seriously. Like, politically speaking, how many of these fuckers are acknowledging these kinds of things right now who aren't getting fucking directly supported by exploiting it even? They're all a bunch of fucking lying cowards. That's all they are. They just want to lie to you, whether it be because of your skin color, whether it be because you're too poor, you're too dumb. There is shit out there like that, lying to you. So, I don't mind being that person to tell you. Why? Because I've been lied to. I've been lied to more than once about many different things, even trying to depend on people for help. I mean, I've been abused, all kinds of shit. I mean, I can't say I've had it any worse than a lot of different people, but what I experienced was enough to put me in this place where I feel like I gotta do something. I mean, if that means anything, but then again, it don't have to mean a thing. Especially whenever I'm not being seen here as someone who could self identify. Because as for right now, if I were arrested for any crime, I'm involuntarily identified as an American Indian. Even as I speak right now. Right now. Involuntarily, that is. And that means there's a whole agenda. You guys have no idea what's happening right now. And they're just trying to pass it off as if they already understand it all. Like, they already have it all figured out. Like, it's just resources, it's just land, it's just money, or it's just some kind of thing that they're trying to say has mutual respect for people. Don't fall for it. Really don't. Because then one day you won't have clean drinking water anymore. What are you going to do? You're going to try to suck up to those people who wanted you to be there? Just because you think that that's the only way you'll survive? Nah. They look out for themselves. That's why they're there. They don't care. They've taken everything away from you. Try to act like they're in complete control. But everything that was there for you just happens to be everything that was there for everyone else, too. Especially when it comes to clean drinking water and a clean environment. But coming from someone who's seen as suspicious, I guess it doesn't mean anything at all, but then again, I'm not an Indian either. I don't care to tell you that I'm not either. So do with that what you will. Because, like I said, I won't be conditioned into being an animal that's scared of someone who don't even know what the fuck they're really about. So I'll find you, just like I did last time, if you happen to be the same people, even. But then to me, if you're following the same shit blindly, you really are the same people, no matter what. You're just the fucker you're supposed to find out in those kinds of ways. That's how vicious and violent it can really be. Because for me, I can't even depend on these people. And they want me to. Even for a legitimate fucking emergency. Like, look at my YouTube channel. I haven't even got called back from the FBI. I called like 4 or 5 different times. Nothing. Even when I did get a response, I had to put it on there because at first I recorded thinking nothing would happen. But then it's exactly what it is. I need to fucking see is someone who's incompetent, who doesn't fucking know, has no understanding. And if it comes down to those kinds of understandings again, I don't want to lose it. Because to me, they fucking, they want me to look like I'm just whatever anyway. But to me, it's just like fucking, like Silent Hill or something. It's like there's the underlying fucking theme of something like a cult, right? Like they take control and they do sacrifice and shit. To me, that shit is very real when it comes to the understandings of how shit is right now. Like there really is like a cult like mentality on this. Why? Because even the government itself wouldn't agree to say that American Indian is, exactly who we are, being that the government are made for the people, right? That means people actually have input. And then there's gonna be some fucker to be like, yeah, that's not right. And they do it. They go through and they try to get it done, but then that fucker dies in a fucking weird ass car crash where the other driver isn't even there anymore. And that's the shit I've seen when it comes to shit like this. Is that it's almost like a mafia mentality and how it is that people even disappear from it. Just from asking why. Really. So with that being said, I can only hope that I arm people enough with what it is that I know. Which might not even be enough. Because, I didn't even need to do this now. I could have just allowed you to only know so much, just like the rest of them, right? Except for me, where I come from, it don't really work that way. Even though there is a misconception of, like, somehow chiefs of indigenous tribes are kings or something. When it's not even like that. Some tribes, but not every tribe. So I'm gonna see what happens. Like I said, this is like torture, man. Like who knows if I'll end up breaking here or someone else breaks this, you know? Just because I'm asking why. The thing is, I'm just not scared of it. Like I'm not scared of it anymore. There was a time, but it lasted a while. I was scared. I mean, that's what like ended up with me being raped at one point in time is because I had to willingly give myself away in order to not be hurt. But being a minor, it's still rape. So I'm gonna find out what's really gonna happen when you people think it's not even there. And that's what amazes me about this whole thing is, do you people realize I'm here? Like I can say this now because fucking I have the ability and it's my own platform, right? Whatever. Like I'll have my audience and those people know how to fucking bypass shit, even with their own shit that they can use to do it with, just by knowing this shit. And that's what I want. Because for me, first, I can't take a fucker seriously if he's trying to say I'm someone else and he's not even asking me who I am. Because then look at them, they're fucking living off of it. They want us to actually feel like we're fucking comfortable in many different ways. I can't do that. It started getting to me up here when I thought I could. I can't. Like I said, I was even fearful once. Not anymore. Like I'll be approached all kinds of different shit, but we're gonna see how it really is. Like I said, I played two sides, I wanted to see how they treat people they consider crazy. Because where I come from, we don't kill the crazy. We don't harm them. We don't humiliate them. We don't do any of that shit. But they don't know that about like where it is I come from. They may even think I'm making this up. It's because them their fake news. It's like, well, fucking, you tell them not to jump off a cliff, they call it fake news. Just because wouldn't even like you, even as an individual at that point in time. Just fake news. But we'll see what happens. Um, might know I said that like 3 different times. I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of this shit. This is like there's like a whole different world out there. I don't even know we exist over here, and these fuckers have first access to us over here. It's like if anything, we could probably find more allies out there than we ever do here. With how they fucking refer to us, how they treat us. But do we do that? No. Because what you seen talking to anyone else, they think you're a rat. First thing. And that's another thing I actually wanted to talk about that I forgot for the longest period in time. Is that if you try to look for help when you can't depend on them, being that they make it their business to be dependent upon, even, which is really fucking dumb. At a certain point, they call you a rat. What do you do then? Where do you go to, refer to? Because there's plenty of shit readily available that isn't good for you. Like getting money from a loan shark to do the shit you gotta do, right? It's be there for you, but doesn't mean it's good. So that's the problem I see with these people. Especially when they don't acknowledge that there's shit like this happening, when it, in fact, is a very grim reality that we're all still trying to face. Like the whole thing with the missing and murdered indigenous women's movement that I can't agree with is for a long time there wasn't someone who was like the spearhead of it, like a CEO of the organization itself. And then on top of that, Donald Trump passed that fucking bill the same time I became a nonprofit here in the state, saying something very fucking similar to what it is I was fucking saying, having separate fucking facilities away from federal jurisdiction. But then it's like, I called them and they're trying to tell me they're more focused with cold case files. So that means what? Donald Trump could be one of those fuckers who killed a bunch of native women by fucking them and leaving them out there in the fucking forest for all we fucking know. Because they're looking at cold case files, by the way. And I asked them, how do you prevent it? They couldn't tell me right then and there. That means they don't fucking know. They're unfucking educated about the whole fucking thing. And perpetuating the word even further, American Indian alone is enough for people to understand that they're incompetent. Even trying to do the things that are right. That's why when I was talking to him, I'm like, oh yeah, it's very, very interesting. You still perpetuate it even without actually knowing that you're doing it even because you think you're doing something right. And that's kind of a problem. Because for me, it's the early 2000s when I ran into this shit I did. It wasn't fucking fun. Like I said, it was all fucking brutal fucking mentality, just coming at it. So I know what that's like. It's fucking it's a terrible fucking place to be. Like I said, I was even fucking raped at one point in time. Ugh. I'm still trying to remember exactly what fucking happened then. Because whoever it was that's out there, I'll leave you with this one before I have to go. Because, I'll have to try to soothe myself because I'm not like the rest of you hard headed motherfuckers who have the ability to just take this shit and be okay with it. Uh, fucking, see, like now I forgot even what I was gonna say. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I mean, this is one of the things I could tell you. They know you can speak out against the truth, and it comes just like naturally to you, just because you know it's wrong, and you know it to be wrong. It's just like something you don't like, so you move away from, like being around something really hot. Uh, they'll try to condition you when you're at your weakest to not be able to speak about those things in the way that you do, because they figure that the conditioning and stuff, right? Of like the laughter, thinking that laughter is only fucked up because it's fucked up to them, or all it is that they can speak at you from a distance and say really weird shit to you and about you, like near you and shit. Um, they condition your mind when they know they're alone with you to be even fearful of yourself at a certain point because they can't understand what it is that you have in your head to understand the things you do. Because then they'll even try to say they can control what it is that you feel by saying you are only a byproduct of something, or you only manifest what it is that you're immediately aware of. As if they can just cap it and be like, you can't get that far, you can't get that high. I'm gonna be up here, you're gonna be down there. That's how cheap they are. So then they do things like make you scared of your own fucking reaction at a certain point by tripping you out, bullying you essentially, bullying your mind really. Because then at first you may even believe what it is they're doing to you, flickering lights, doing whatever, but it's not anything that, at least, that's where I feel a lot of people without that emotional infrastructure, they probably fall victim to it very easily. Because then they might think it's God or something talking to them. And all they need is an image like that to prove that people could fucking manipulate others, just to convince themselves even further, so they have enough abilities to fucking make cat people for sexual fetishes from genetics and shit. It's like, I don't give a fuck where you fuckers are. Fact is, I'm not an Indian, and you make it your business, and fucking, you know, this is the shit you're concerned with as of right now, and I'll be that fucker to tell you, yeah, fucking, you're gonna worry about animal pussy because you can't get regular pussy because you're a fucked up individual, and that's how it should be. So I'm gonna have to leave this stream now because I'm just gonna probably go on a rant, but all I can say is that if you can, get your own copies of things. Make sure you have them somewhere safe, stored, where no one knows. Make sure no one even follows you. And you'll be able to bypass a lot of this shit. Really. You'll have the means to. because they want to control through the lack of information, not just misinformation, but also the lack of information. So, thank you for your time. You know, I'm sure you'll be hearing more of me unless they finally find an excuse to try to come at me hard. So, thank you.